All right, that's on. Just want to make sure it's recording. Everything is moving slow, so bear with me a minute here. I still say they've changed the internet. There it goes. All right. So that's muted. I can drop this down, go back to our last known. Notice what I'm using. See my daily, weekly. This is how we do it. This is how you should be doing it. Everyone should have a notebook. I know we like to think that I can remember because I'm this, or I can remember that because I do this on a daily basis, but no one can remember everything that you do or say over the course of weeks. You can get major points, but the details will fade because of new information coming in. So, out of our notebook for last week, there was some assignments given. I received two of them. Unless I missed them, they were supposed to have been turned into 21dayhelp at Gmail with your information. Now, if you have not had a chance to do it or you didn't know about it, because some of you didn't know about it because you weren't here, it's quite all right. What was requested was a multiple set of things. Um, so, what I'm going to do is go over what I requested. Okay. That was basically what if you were to create a water filter, how would you do it? And I requested that to be written in your own words, what you think a water filter is, the whole nine, to survive. Second thing was in your state where you live, what fruits or vegetables could be planted so that you could feed yourself if you needed to. And that is pretty much should be a blanket. Most of us do not know that you can literally feed yourself with one item of any sort that has a seed in it. And if you've noticed that the grocery stores and the government has decided to create fruits and vegetables without seeds for the most part. Some things they can get away with it, some they can't because God is going to intervene. So to know what you can plant, because every state has a different availability to what can be planted and grown in that state. So you want to know what type of food you can put in the ground and feed yourself. It's all about survival. It's all about being able to sustain yourself. Um, the last item, it escapes me. I didn't write it down. I thought I did. Um, someone help me out? I believe there were two that did the assignment and turned them in. Let me go get one. One moment. So while we're waiting for that to come up, um, all of us have a responsibility to our finances. So that responsibility is knowing how to create the foundation, sustain its growth, and making sure that you are in control of it. Okay. Most of us don't know that when you take over your finances is the same day that you become free. Okay. Now, being free is a statement that usually comes around Martin Luther King Day and all this uh, ridiculous thing about slavery. It has nothing to do with that. Um, being free is a state of mind, a state of understanding, and whatever it is. If you're a doctor, then you want to be free in the mind that you are actually helping people, not peddling drugs. If you are free as a mechanic, you know for a fact that what you fix on a car or what you don't fix on a car, you know that what you're doing is going to actually help the car get along or stay along. And then the other part would be where you actually talk to the owner of the car and say, look, I've seen that this was happening. This might be, need to be fixed in the next step or two, week or two, month or two. I saw it. I'm not going to charge you to fix it, but it is an issue or will become an issue later on. That's a real mechanic. Um, so again, that's being free because you have dispensed all the information on whatever field it is that is going to help somebody do better. Now, the unfree or an unfree mechanic would be one that would see something wrong or going to be wrong and not say something. That person's not free because they don't love what they do. So I know that's a little weird, but you can be free in any endeavor that you do. You just have to be completely committed to it. The last item on that list was currency. Which currency are you using currently? Which ones are you going to be using? And having the knowledge of it. What don't just put an answer there. Do you know about it? Okay. So I do see the others that made it in there. I haven't had a chance to read them, but I am going to say this. Um, one moment. All of what we're doing is, like I said, trying to make sure that you are free in your finances and have a foundation. Okay, that's all of this is what that's about. So let's go into today's call. I brought you back in the morning because things are going to ramp up for me. They are going to get ridiculously busy. And Saturday is going to be one of my work days. So I want you guys in the morning so that we can do what we do. And like I said, I'm committed. I'm going to stay committed to this class for any and all young people that want to learn and understand the foundation of finance. Not like I'm licensed or anything, but I have a little bit of experience, just a little. So today I wanted to talk about the actual occurrences that happen or will be happening next week and happened really last week. Um, the United States and the world are looking at a full collapse in the money of their country. That full collapse is going to bring on the next evolution. Okay. Everything evolves, but money is on a wheel. It's on a wheel. And what it does is it'll go into one phase, go out of that phase, go back into a phase, go out of that phase, go back into a phase. We keep repeating the foolishness. But for how I feel about where we are in the evolution, we just stepped off the wheel because we've never had digital before. We've never had a cryptocurrency where things are electronically taken care of, no longer with paper, no longer with um, going to the bank. Why? Because you'll own your bank. You will have your own bank and you will control it. We've never been in that position before. So, knowing that is important that you understand how to use these devices. The wallet. The wallet is not what we thought it used to be. It is now electronic. The wallet is how you move it. The crypto debit card. The crypto debit card is how you use it. And of course, the bank is where you keep it. But if you notice, I keep saying you. I didn't say Wells Fargo, PNC, Chase, or any other major bank. It's time that they understand, and they will understand because they're already making the moves to be in that space right now, right in front of everybody's face, and no one really sees it happening. They just see the bank changing. They'll get a letter or an email. Oh, we'd like to invite you to use our wealth management system. Oh, really? They are converting out of the wheel because the new evolution of finances is electronic. It is digital. It is instant. It requires no one's permission because if you put $100,000 on here, the only person that knows it's there is you. If you put $100,000 in the bank, everybody and their uncle knows. Everybody and their uncle that knows how to hack a system can get to it. No one can get to this because you own it. It's private. It's electronic. It's protected. Unless you give this to someone and let them play with it, no one knows. So understanding the fact that when you move into the electronic age, the digital age, which is right now, it's not a when, it's right now. You have to understand it. Okay, I know that the rules right now say that you have to be 18 to participate or 18 to have finances and endeavors and all this, but I'm here to tell you that's a lie. That is a bold-faced lie to keep you from understanding. They want you ignorant until you get 18 and then start learning. No, 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 no. You're going to learn this stuff now because you need to know it now. And electronic and digital doesn't see age. It sees, do you know the password? Do you know the address? That's it. That's it. I believe our youngest right now is 11. Am I correct?
He turns 11 soon.
turning 11 soon. Okay, so 10.
Yes.
All right. So our youngest to date right now is 10 years old. And I know for a fact that he will have a bank account, a wallet, a crypto debit card, a bank. He's going to understand how to move finances. He's going to understand what it means to save. He's going to understand what it means to budget. He's going to know the evolutions of monies and where it came from and how it was used. He's going to know more at 10 than I knew at 21. And that's saying something. So if we support and make sure that our young know the same things that we know now, when they get to 21, 25, they'll be financially set. Can any of the adults on this call say that you were set at 25, knowing the evolutions, the understanding of platforms, the understanding of movement of money? I know I can't. Not at 10. I think I was still playing with G.I. Joes at 10. He's on a class that's going to steer his foundation for the rest of his life. So it is important that we take even the little things serious. That's why, like I said, commitment is everything. And when you commit to something, it should be for the duration of whatever that commitment is. If it's for life, then let it be. So getting a good foundation in finances starts with understanding how to use it. And this class today is going to be how to use it. And what I want to go over is how to move it properly. So at this point or at this moment, no, you don't have the finances to do it. But I want you to just pay attention to the course of it. So on the far left, as I always do, is the resources. That could be a paper route. It could be McDonald's if that's where you're working. It could be the donut shop, excuse me. Wherever you're getting resources, that's on the left. It's always on the left. Okay. Most, if not all, companies are going to go to a digital resource. It's either a direct deposit, it's going to be, as a matter of fact, there was a story already that one of the banks requested an individual, do they want a wallet so that they could pay their bill? Hello, what's the first product? A wallet. So if the bank is going here and asking you if you want one so you can pay your bill, that should tell you something. So the resources are the monies, because you're going to have multiple streams of resources, multiple. You're going to have a understanding that each one of these resources is going to go through your wallet on its way to either the crypto debit card that you're going to go shopping with, or on its way to your bank where you're going to protect it and own it outright. Okay, so wallet or the wallet is the first part. So your wallet can either be a physical wallet or a digital one on your phone. Okay, you can put all the wallets on a phone and you can use them just like a regular wallet. You can bring stuff in, you can add accounts, you can create multiple accounts. Remember me talking about these sub accounts so that you pay your bills, you designate a wallet. This, you would designate a wallet for each thing. So if it's school, then whatever goes into that wallet is going to take care of school. If it's your electronic goodies, for those who have, you know, PlayStations and whatnot, those games are very expensive. So you need to save for them. Don't ever just go out and buy a game. That's $60 or so all at once. No, you save for them a little bit at a time because that's entertainment. So the next wallet would be if you're old enough and have a car, that would be the savings account for to purchase a car when it's enough. The next wallet would be, I don't know, personal. You have to always pay yourself, and that's one thing that I was never taught. I was taught or thought that when you got the paycheck, that's paying me. No, actually, it's not. Because if you notice, when you get a paycheck, you owe things out of that check. The light bill, the gas bill, rent, this, that is coming out of that check that you work for. The only thing that's not in that check is you. Well, I'm going to teach you to put yourself as a payee of that paycheck. Okay, so if you're working, you understand that you have to pay you. And how do you pay yourself? You put it in your bank under your account because you're going to have multiples in here. Uh, the beauty of digital equipment is the fact that it can be duplicated within itself. So this bank, I can set up separate little accounts within the bank and put digitals in separate accounts, hence sub accounts. You can do the same thing with the wallet. The wallet, you can make sub accounts within it. Okay, so doing that twice, now you're covered all around. But the bank side, multiple accounts here would be house, car, and so big thing go to the bank. Little things like uh, games and for the ladies, going to the salon, treat yourself. Okay. You're also, what you're doing when you do that, you're helping the cycle of monies or services, the use of services. So if we don't spend it properly, then other people don't receive, so they can do the same thing. Most, if not all, won't do what you do because they're not on this call, they're not getting this education. They'll just get the money, go to the store and spend it. That's what you've been doing before you got on this call. You get the money, you go to the store and spend it. Never thought about where it came from, never thought about where it's going to go, how to save it, how to grow it. That's what you're getting here. So, with that being said, all your resources are incoming and they come in through the wallet. I highly recommend myself that you take a page out of your notebook. Take a page out of your notebook and just write down the things that you spend money on now so that you have an understanding of just how much you spend. No one does that. So they have no idea until they really see it. So write it down. Just write down. I went and got a bag of chips and a Snickers. I spent $90 on a pair of shoes or $120 on a pair of shoes. Well, mom did, dad did, but it was because of you. But don't look at it as it was because of me. I want you to get a visual picture of your spending. That's all this is. There's no blame. There's no because I did or any of that. This is just so you get a snapshot of what you spend. And if you continue this process as you get older, it's easier to budget when you can see it. It's very difficult to budget if you don't know it, you're not aware of it, and you have no idea of what you're spending. Okay? That's
Mr.
called,
Lewis,
yes,
I
ma'am.
apologize for interrupting you. I do have a question for you. I have to say it now before it escapes my mind. Um, I I'm not sure if you mentioned this in one of the classes where you told us that we needed to have different locations for our wallets and our banks and stuff.
Mhm.
Um, do you recommend getting a backup ledger? I'm not sure if you mentioned this before. I know the ledgers can be expensive and I know that they can hold a sufficient amount of money and they can hold our sub accounts, but do you recommend setting up a backup, just in case of emergency, just in case we lose the first ledger, which would be rare, but it could happen.
Right. That's an excellent view, and we're going to implement that because you brought it up. So, what Jaden is basically saying is once you create the spots, remember me talking about the jar and digging a hole and putting it in the ground, which mine is in the ground outside right now. You're going to make a backup. So, a backup ledger or a backup wallet is that you would purchase an additional one, set it up, and have it ready um, just in case something happens. Now, the only difference with that is as you put digitals on this wallet, when you recover it, you're going to make sure it's the same wallet. So if it's a ledger, you want to get another ledger, you already have it. So all you need is the uh, passcodes and all the information connected to it, and whatever was lost on that first ledger will transfer to the backup. So yes, I approve and applaud that suggestion that we all have a backup. So everybody, go grab another one and put it away, just in case something happens. It's not a bad thing to have an additional, but yes, that is a excellent idea. All right, so now you just blew a light bulb in my forehead. You have to help me. Where was I at? What was I speaking on?
I do believe you were talking about our account. You were on the topic of the ledger
Mhm.
and you were talking about our accounts and how we need to responsibly spend and keep track of it. You told us to write down every little thing that we spend, whether it's something as small as a lollipop or as big as a TV purchase or something like that. And you told us to keep track of it in our notebooks.
Great. So that is exactly what we want to do. And you want to do it, um, let's say today is Saturday, and we have one more day tomorrow. Start it on Monday. Don't do anything different. If you were going to go get this or that or what have you, write it down. Anytime you ask mom and dad for something, or if you have your own money and you go get it, write it down. I want you to do that for 1 week. Now, Jaden and Kayla, you actually have that in your services. It's called uh, Hurdler, and I'll show you how to set that up, and it will track it for you. Okay, but for the most part, everybody else, you don't have that service yet, and what that does is give you an understanding of accountability of what you're spending. Okay, like I said, you have to write it down. I know you may not be with your notebook um, when you're at school or rolling around. Get a small one. I have notebooks everywhere. You'll see. You'll come to know that it sounds like I'm some kind of nerd, but I write in notebooks all the time because I'm either taking notes or I'm recording something so I can follow up on something. If you don't take notes, if you don't write things down, then you're going to forget it. It's going to go out the left window and you'll come back up on it and say, what was that? I already did it, but I can't remember. It's because you didn't write it down. So try to start writing things down and then make yourself accountable to transfer that information to your big book. Like if you're out, this is your out notebook. Like if you're out somewhere, it's small enough. There's even smaller ones. Just write it down. And then when you get home, you transfer it to the big folder or the big notebook and you track it. Now, I want you to do this tracking process for 14 days. 14 days. So 2 weeks, 2 solid weeks. Let's get that in the notebook. So this is your assignment right off the top. I did write it down. I just didn't turn the page. See? This is your assignment. So the new one, I'm going to go on to that, and we're going to put track finances or track spending for 14 days. All right. So you're going to write down whatever is spent on you for 14 days. And at the end of those 14 days, you're going to multiply it. Not that you're going to do the same thing every day, every week. This is just a guesstimation or a finance foundation expenditure, what you're spending, times 4. So 14 days, that's 2 weeks. Yes, times 4. No, times 2, because there's 4 weeks in a month. So whatever number you get on the 14th day, multiply it times 2. So it'd be the first 2 weeks and the second 2 weeks. That's what you're spending for a month. Now, the same thing should happen for what's coming in. If you are working, if you're not working, if you have a paper route, if you rake leaves, if you cut grass, whatever you do to help the community or to create an income, even if it's a savings account, or I think a couple of you have investments working, whatever is coming in or generated, that's called profit. Okay? Write down profit for 14 days. Now, if you're not cutting grass, if you're not raking leaves, if you are, too young for any of that, and I think there's 2 of you there, then you put 0. Put whatever it is. And this is not a good or bad thing, and this is not a shame or a hooray thing. This is learning money. So if it's 0, it's 0. It is nothing to be ashamed of. Okay, so even whatever, I want you to write the numbers factual. Okay, so those 2 things, that's the first part. Second part, if you're saving it, where are you saving it at? In a shoe, in a shoe box, in a jar, in a piggy bank, in a powder bottle, wherever you're saving these coins and money, write down saving for 14 days. So that will show you what you're putting away for yourself. And if you're not doing it, just put 0. If you don't have it to do that, put 0. Like I said, this is not a shame thing. This is an understanding thing. Okay. This is where you create your financial foundation and how to spend properly. So you won't know how to spend properly or how to save properly until after this assignment is done. So it's going to take at least 14 days. All right. So at the end of that, you'll have your savings. and you're going to multiply that times 2. They're all multiplied times 2 for the whole month. All right. That'll give you an idea of what you're spending, what you are creating as far as financing, and what you're saving. Okay, those 3 things is your financial foundation. All right. The next thing, I wanted to talk just a little bit about being an asset to your family. Now, how do you become an asset to your family? It's real easy. 1, you have to understand the evolution of money. 2, you have to have a solid foundation to which you stand on and you are committed to. This is a commitment, this first part, believe it or not. It is your commitment going forward. So you always want to see what you're spending, you want to see what you're making, you want to see what you're saving. You have to commit to that, whatever it is. The next part of that is becoming an asset. So put down asset to my family. Now, how do you become an asset to your family at 10? Simple. Understanding these foundations, understanding the evolution of money, and practice it starting now. So if you, and I'm picking on you today, MJ, in a good way. If you start out these understandings or this comprehension of how money works and how you're supposed to work with it, then you will be an asset because you have a solid savings account. You will have a solid budget and you will stay on top of what you're spending. You will have a solid understanding of how to put money to work. Okay, so spending, how much is coming in? Let me put that in, coming in. And then how much you're saving. Spending, coming in, and saving. All right, should be a little bit different in order, but you get my point. You can switch it around. So how does a 10-year-old become an asset to the family? 1, he or she is going to have this understanding. 2, they're going to implement it. They're going to start doing these things at 10. So when they get a real job and they start getting an income, they know what to do with that check. Number 1, pay yourself. Always, you're before everybody else. So whatever part of that check that you designate to yourself, do it. Regardless of the amount of the check. Because if you don't pay yourself, you can't do these things over here. You can't track spending. You can't track what you're making. You definitely can't track saving. So the paycheck, don't ever think the paycheck is yours because it is not. And that's the first one that people miss out on. That paycheck is not yours. If you notice, when you got the check, somebody took some money out of it. IRS, feds, state. They took some money out of your check. How is that possible? They didn't work for that 40 hours I did. But the way the check is set up and what you don't understand about the check is the reason why you think it's it belongs to you. So I'm going to correct the record as we sit in these seats today. When you have a job, the paycheck does not belong to you. That's number 1. Number 2, when you get the paycheck, pay yourself, whatever that amount is. If it's $50 out of that check, if it's $100 out of the check, whatever you want to designate for your income, your true income, get that first. Whatever is left out of the check, you spread around to the obligations that you have or you create. But we're going to understand that we're not going to create a whole lot of obligation. We have to live inside of our means and inside of our understanding of what monies we have. So, what does that mean? So, let's say your check is $200. 50 of that 200 belongs to you. So, you take that out and you put it where? Either on a wallet, in a bank, those two. Not on the crypto debit card or the debit card because this is used for spending. That's it. That's the only thing this does. Gives you the ability to go shop with the currency, the digital currency, the cryptocurrency. It makes it available to you to use at the store. If you're going to save something, it's going to be on either the wallet or the bank. Okay? No other. So the rest, $150 out of that $200 check, you have to break up into pieces to your obligation. If you have braces, then you have a bill. If you are in sports, then you have a bill with shoes, gym shoes, or whatever equipment you need for that sport. That's a bill because it has to be bought. So that comes out of that 150. You won't have light bills, gas bill, water bill because you don't own a home yet. But it's good to think about it. If I did, I would have how much left to spread between those guys. So when you practice this now, you can make up a bill just so that you can do the subtraction and addition in the movement of these funds. Let's say you just pick two. Light bill, because if you play Xbox, then you're using electricity. So electricity and all of you eat, so food. Those are your two outside bills outside of whatever. So you're going to break up $150 between two bills. $75 each, right? That's your paycheck. Now you have to work another 40 hours to do it again. That's the old way. That's the old way. The new way. And you're going to do the same thing, but it's going to be a lot more to spread out. The new way is a promise delivered. Team Royal. This is basically royalties and income. They're going to come to you on a daily basis for the rest of your life. The job that you choose to do will come to you until you retire, or until you get fired, or until you decide that your other income far exceeds what you're going to go give your physical time for. And I see the latter sooner than I see the first. But I still want you to, when you have this, whatever is resources, whatever it is, you're going to do the same thing. Whatever the weekly resource is. Let's say now we're talking about $1,000. Okay. You decide out of that $1,000 that belongs to you, and you subtract that out. Whatever's left goes to whatever bills you have. That's a promise delivered. Now we go over here to Team Royal. That's only two of you right now, but the rest of you will be in there. Trust me. You're going to see that come into you. Now that can be considered income because it's a business. All right. That is an income that can be verifiable for future purchases, future foundations, and future understandings with institutions. But as I see it, you won't need them. You are that institution. And from the work of the family and everybody, this is going to be way more satisfied than their stuff because you own it. You are putting what's going to be on here on it. No one knows what's going on there because you are in control of it. Now, that would be the first part of being an asset, understanding those three things. Second thing is, now that you understand those three things, you put it together, you put it to work, and you're going to do that pretty much for the rest of your life. And when you break the age of 21 and you become an adult, you not only will be financially secure, but you will have an understanding of finance long before. So you'll be an asset to help with family obligations. Okay? And the first family obligation is to take care of burial services. Start on it now, because eventually we all go home. That could be $20 a week. That could be $100 when you get older. But start on it and take care of it. The last thing we want to do is leave here and have the family try to figure out how to bury you or to move you on, whatever you decide that you want done. Don't leave that burden on those who may not have it, which I doubt seriously because of the work that we're doing right now. We're spreading blessed and highly favored. We're spreading the understanding of finances. We're making sure that you have it as soon as possible. We're making sure that you understand how to use it, how to save it, how to spend it, and how to make sure you have it for tomorrow. But that's one thing a lot of people miss. And I want you to know that one day you're going to go home and there's expenses involved. Take care of that early. Put it in here. Now that's one account that you just put it. You never take out of that account. The only time that that account will be withdrawn from is when you go home. Okay. The other part of being an asset is that you may also be able to facilitate things for other people in the family that don't know about the Promise Delivered, don't know about the family, don't know about Team Royal, but you might be able to help them financially. And if anybody ever comes to you asking for money, send them to the website. Get them on their own journey, understanding finance. Send them to wherever, whatever websites are up and available. Let them know that they can join A Promise Delivered. They can join Team Royal and create their own foundation. So you help them the first time, but as you are helping them, make sure they have those websites so they don't have to come back. Because obviously they don't have a foundation in finances. Okay? Never borrow money. Always find a way to do it yourself. That's why Promise Delivered is here. If you just say the name, you'll see why I keep saying it. Say the name and listen to it. Okay? So that's being an asset to the family. You will be a financial asset to not only yourself, but your family and your extended family. But like I said, anybody who comes to you, send them to the website. Help them out the first time, but let them know that they need a foundation. They need to understand finances. Here's a website that you need to go to. Here's a program that you need to join. You're not recruiting, you're stopping the borrowing and the ignorance to finances. Okay? So that's asset to family. You will become that. It's inevitable. As long as we continue the classes, you have knowledge they don't. So you're going to help them put that to use. The last thing that I want to speak on is accountability. Accountability is your part, not only in finances, but in who you decide to be. And this comes back to being a mechanic or whatever it is that you decide to do. Um, I want you to look up the word accountability, but I want you to put your own definition on it. So you have to first go read it, read the real definition, but then I want your own words on how you see yourself as accountable and how do you implement that into your family. Okay, accountability. The next one is honesty. And that's a big one for me because I've been lied to a lot. And I'm pretty sure um, you've heard of gifts. The Creator gave me a gift that when you lie to me, I can taste it. My mouth will go sour. So, people, I didn't know what that was before until I figured it out. Honesty is everything. And one of the best accountabilities and being an asset is that someone can trust you. Trust is not freely given. Trust me. That is weird to say it within a sentence, but trust comes from honesty. So, honesty goes a long way and it's involved in everything that you are doing right now and will do in the future and have done. Honesty follows you. It's on, I guess you have to look this up, but it's an Akkadian record. Akkadian is the same thing as your spirit realm. I'm going a little off topic, but you have to know where I'm coming from so you can understand what I'm talking about. Akkadian is what you do and is recorded by the Creator. So if you cuss at somebody under your breath, the Creator heard you. If you take a piece of paper after eating something and throw it on the ground, you know that's not right. It's recorded. So it's kind of like a self-governing. If you know what you're doing or have said or participating in is wrong, then you have to be accountable in saying, nope, not going to do that. If I threw that paper down, I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to go to a garbage can and put it in the garbage can. That's being accountable. If you think bad things because someone said something that you didn't like, it goes against your Akkadian record. Okay? Keep that as clean as you can. And the only way to erase inputs on your Akkadian record is repentance. True repentance. That's another word to look up. Repentance. Because that keeps you honest. If you stay honest, you won't have to do all this repenting. You know the difference between good and bad. If you see a dollar, find out who the dollar belongs to. If there's no, hey, that's my dollar, then the dollar belongs to you. Gifts will be given to you in different ways. You're going to see things come to you when you're honest and accountable. The Creator will make sure that you find $100 bill, or someone gives you a raise when you didn't even need it, or someone looks after you and looks for you to ask information because you're accountable and honest. So these are qualities that you learn. I know this is all about finances, but when I'm, led to speak, I'm going to speak to my young people. Okay, so I'm gonna stop right there and no, I want to ask questions. Is there any questions? I'm gonna record it. I'm gonna record the question.
I have a question, Mr. Lewis. I've never heard of the term Akkadian record. Maybe it's because I haven't really read the whole Bible yet. I'm almost there though.
Yeah,
But I have never seen that term. Where did you get that term?
the Akkadian record is not in a written book. It is part of your spirit realm, to which I work in. It is part of your attached attachment to the universe. Um, you won't see it. It is something that works through knowledge. Um, I'll do my best to find something so you can read it, but it's not in that book.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
Mr.
Alicia?
I have a question.
Yes.
Um, the funeral expenses, are you saying there's no need for life insurance because we put away money weekly onto the wallet or monthly?
Yes, you do that because here's the thing about insurance. That's an excellent question. Here's the thing about insurance. One, it's overrated. Two, when the time comes, not only will they make it difficult for you to withdraw or pull down or what have you, but they take a cut out of what is accumulated. So let's say that you pay, I don't know, Prudential, and you have life insurance or whatever, and the day comes that you go home. Let's say that they're saying that there's $100,000. They're going to, again, remember me talking about a paycheck? What did I just go over about a paycheck for you? Well, the same thing goes for the insurance company. They look at that withdrawal as a check. And before you get it, what are they going to do? They're going to chop it up. This much goes for us watching over this money this many years. This much goes for the whatever. They're going to find a way to get some of that 100,000 back to them, which then reduces the amount that you have to go home with. Not saying don't have life insurance. Get the life insurance. But I want you to have your own life insurance. I want you to have your own burial proceeds that won't get chopped up. If you put $100,000 in here, then it'll be 100,000 when you go home. Okay. This is just like what I think it was Jaden that said the backup. This is your backup. This is you are personally taking care of it. Okay. So that's what that's about. Not saying don't have life insurance, not saying don't pay it, but just know that they look at that when it comes time as a paycheck. I just explained to you that you're going to go to work for 40 hours somewhere doing something. When you get that paycheck, what did I ask you to do? Chop it up. That's how it works. All right.
Montaro,
Yes, ma'am.
I know I'm not the child on your program, but I'm learning just like the children up. I know about karma, but I never heard of it like the young lady say a man who it was said, Katia. How you
Okay.
spell it? How you spell it? 'Cause I never heard of it either.
A
Wait a minute.
C
Wait a minute. AC.
D
Uh-huh.
I
Uh-huh.
A N.
But I thought I spelled it like that, but I left the A-N. I said ACIA.
Akkadian.
Okay.
I'll get there's three definitions of it. But again, it doesn't come from here. And I have stated this before, but a lot of people kind of just hear it and laugh about it. But when I say I'm different, I really am different. And there is a group of people called Palladian. So when you look up Palladian, then you'll know
Yes,
exactly
I looked
who
that
I
up. I knew about the Palladian. Palladian Indians, right? Palladian Indians, right?
am. Mhm.
Yeah, I read about those a long time.
Yep. So again, we are all here as a family, so we have to take care of each other, and that's what I'm doing. Any other questions?
I'm gonna ask you something.
Mr. Lewis, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you receive my homework?
I did, and I was saving that for the end. I
Okay.
got yours, I got MJ's, and I just saw that Jaden and Kayla turned theirs in. So I haven't had a chance to read theirs yet. But yes, I have all of yours. Um, and I'll after we get done with these questions, I'm going to go over the homework that was turned in. Any other questions?
Hey, sir, I think I gotta relook at the old classes since me and my little sister, me and my little sister kind of missed a little bit.
Mm-hmm. So there's a lot. Most of it's on the YouTube channel. But again, if there's a way to get you caught up, we'll figure that out. There's a couple of you that, with the time change and summer vacation, I get it. It happens. Um, we'll just have to make up something or get together and go over stuff that you need to catch up on. I don't have a problem with that.
Like crash course.
Mm-hmm. Refresher, just catch up. We'll go over. I have everything, most everything written in my notebook. We can just go back pages where you left off at and pick up from there.
That sounds like a plan.
Sounds like a plan? It's a plan. It's done.
Oh yeah, by the way, I turned 17 recently.
Happy birthday, sir.
Thank you, man, Tyler.
Happy birthday. I'm glad to see that things are happening and we're growing up. Before long, you're going to be driving that car. So we definitely need to know these things, right?
My uncle was telling me he'll teach me how to drive.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, don't get frustrated. The most that I could say about learning how to drive is it's going to be a challenge, but if you relax and try not to get frustrated because of what that person on the right is saying to you, you'll do fine. But if you go into it thinking, oh, I know how to drive, not that you would, because I can tell from how you speak and who you're connected to that that's not your thing. But always remember, even when you're 75, you learn something every day. No one on this planet knows it all. So if you put your mindset in the fact that when you go back to school, if you go to college, if you start a job, if you get into a relationship, if you get married, you will not know everything. But if you allow yourself, now this is important, so all of y'all pick up on this one. If you allow yourself to learn daily, you'll be the easiest person to get along. Take down the wall of I know, because you don't. If I don't give any advice, always be willing and ready to learn something new every day for the rest of your life. All right?
I have one more question for you, Mr. Lewis.
Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to say that I was on a call last night that you had, and I just wanted to follow up on one thing because I got my trust created with the EIN number. So
Mhm.
should I just go back and do 2 new EIN numbers under an LLC instead?
No, you only need 2 more. So you have this one. So the next 2 are going to be LLCs, or if you have one trust already, so you only really need 1 more. You can do an LLC or DBA. All you're after is the EIN number. You don't have to open bank accounts with them because the bank account is going to be the one that you are currently using on the new account. You're just going to add it in to the rest of them because you own these businesses that you're signing up.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah, I have trust right now. So you're saying I don't need to do any more with those?
No. If you have 2 of them now that don't have your name in them, now that's the important part. Is your name in either one of those trusts?
Yes.
Can't use them.
Mm.
And-
Can I interject? Her name is not in the business name of the
Oh,
trust.
okay.
Jaden.
Yeah, the businesses, those 2, the businesses cannot have your name in it because that's,
Right, no.
they'll see it. So it has to be Pluggo at LLC, but you own it. Pluggo has an EIN number. That's what you want, the EIN number to Pluggo. You're going to sign up Pluggo. Totally legal. But if Pluggo has Pluggo Jaden Pluggo,
No. Right.
not going to work.
So, Mr. Lewis, I think what she was trying to ask you is, it doesn't matter, and I believe I asked you this last night too. It does not matter if the EIN was created under a trust. Should we
No.
go back and redo it under the LLC?
No, you're fine. If
Fine.
as long as you have the only 2 criteria, remember this, and this is for everybody else that's on here. The 2 positions cannot have your name in the title, and it has to have an EIN.
Okay.
So if you go through the process and get an EIN, or if you do the trust or whatever you do, all you're after is the EIN number. That's it. The banking is all on you because, like I said, you're signing it up. So the 2 requirements, your name can't be in the title, and you need an EIN. That's it. You can stop right there.
Okay, so then it would not hem up the e-wallet part to try and upload a bank statement.
No, because you're gonna put your information in there.
Got it. Okay.
You can have your information in the e-wallet. They just don't want the actual account to be, a duplicate of the owner.
Got it. But the e-wallet, people don't care about that part.
No, just put put the same ID, bank that you want to send it to. You can send it to a different bank. That would help. If you already have another bank account with another institution,
Mhm.
you can send it there. So that kind of mixes it up a little bit. It's not totally identical.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
May I ask something for Miss Emmanuel? Say, okay, I have a irrevocable trust and I have an LLC. Is that okay?
That's okay. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, babies. Any other questions?
Mr. Lewis, this is Carolyn. How you doing?
Blessed and highly favored.
Can I call you after the Zoom, if possible?
Text me because I have another call that I have to finish.
Okay, I'll text you. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? All right, I'm going to end YouTube. One moment.
Oh, Montal, you said you would let us know if you're gonna have a call today. Do you have a call?
No.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
You're welcome. And I'll put it on, I'm sure, Rhonda, are you on here?